I'll keep quiet.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry, quick technical error on my end. So, a little bit falling behind. So, qualifying has just begun. I do apologise. So, rather than doing the full intro video, going to quickly give a shout out to all the sponsors. Elgato, thank you ever so much for giving us such a long-term sponsorship. Driver61 as well, give him a check out, or them a check out for some driver training. SIMSOK, this is what this all comes down to in the final round. They are racing to win a set of SIMSOKs. Goodness gracious, apologies about that. Everything was up and running and I just hadn't clicked one button. So thank goodness for Cardinal, my main man. He just saved me because apparently I didn't put any of that up on the YouTube. So massive apologies about that. Cardinal, say good evening, sir.
Timasorus, good evening, sir. Indeed, look, we had a fantastic intro. We set up the track, set up the championship. You know, had the sponsor videos. It was all there. You just have to believe us. Imagine it in your minds. And here we are in qualifying, ready for lap 1 for every driver.
Oh, I'm really sorry because everyone missed that right at the beginning of qualification. There was an incident immediately with Borgodowski having a bump with one of the McLarens. Actually, the McLaren running behind him on track. I'm just trying to work out what is going on with this. Why is everything being a bit slow this evening, including myself?
It's been an eventful start to qualifying. This on the season finale, the championship decider at Spa-Francorchamps. My goodness, at Spa here in Belgium. Borgodowski, as Tim said, having a big impact straight out on the outlap of qualifying and having to come back in. So going to be a lap behind the rest of the drivers right now. Now that everything's been repaired, patched up, tires back on, but we have cars on fast laps on now, whereas Borgodowski is on their out lap.
Yes, he is indeed. This will be his first flyer, but everyone's obviously got really bunched up at the bus stop a minute ago, so I think it's... I'd be surprised if anyone manages to get a fast lap in. We are going to change camera in just a moment. Let's just have a shuffle so I can see the chat a little bit easier. That's a bit better. Come on, you. It does not like the broadcasting app this evening for some reason.
The app's just excited, Tim. The app is just excited.
It's over the moon. It wants us to get involved, and I'm not sure. Won't let me click on it.
And for wonderful context, just as we say this, Sholobanov, the championship leader, 90 points ahead of anyone else, takes pole and is immediately displaced. But we are into, what, 2:17.1s. Quick times for the very first laps.
I thought I only saw 2:18s in Tier 1 last night. I'm sure I saw a 2:18 put them on pole. Maybe I'm wrong. Once again, the chat will no doubt tell me I'm a complete muppet and correct me on that.
Let me check that out. So last night, Tier 1, we had, oh my heavens above, we had 3 drivers reach 2:15.
It went that low in the end, did it? God, I didn't even realise it went that low. I thought it stayed in a slightly different realm to that, but apparently not. I stand corrected.
A 2:17 would put us in 21st in Tier 1, but this is, of course, is their first out lap. There are another 9-10 minutes here to go. The tires are warmed up now, and they'll be... Well, I can see that there's a few greens across the board now. Pitchick in the top. Now, there's a man who needs to stay there.
Yeah, I think it is possible for Pitchick to win, but he's got to have an absolutely outstanding race, and Shabalanov has got to have an awful race. Essentially, from what I can have a look at, he's got to come, I think it's 27th is the furthest up the grid Shabalanov can have for anyone to be able to dethrone him. So it is almost decided already. But as we know in motorsport, it's not decided till the very end, because you never know. You might get a DNF or something might happen. You don't wish it on anybody, but there is the possibility that there will be a big shake-up.
Sure has been, and Shelebanov hasn't had a single DNF all season. Hasn't finished lower than 6th in any race. So that consistency is why he is up there today and tonight for this final Grand Prix. But there's, we could be providing the commentator's curse for him as we speak. He's been very consistent. Driver 727. He needs to bring it home. We could have a situation where I think it was 2016 where Lewis Hamilton needed to finish so far ahead of Rosberg, and so Hamilton tried to slow Rosberg back as far as possible, but it just wasn't enough. So Pitchick, I doubt he's going to try any dodgy tactics in order to affect Shelebanov's race, but you don't know when it comes to the crunch.
Yeah, you honestly really don't. I mean, I very much doubt that anyone is going to do anything a little bit naughty, especially here because everything is so closely watched, and obviously we've got the stewarding system as well, so whether or not it's mid-race or after the race. This does also mention the fact that, like we said earlier on actually, but everyone missed it because I forgot to press the go button, that there are some penalties this evening as well, some time penalties to be served during this race. So let's have a quick jump on and just double check and have a read through of that list. That was, I know Pitchick's got one, which is not what he is going to want here this evening. Obviously doing his very best to dethrone Shelebanov. So who is running a penalty this evening? So in typical fashion, not everyone's names match themselves on the circuit. Jean Bom has a 30-second penalty. Rins has 30 seconds. Murdazov, 45 seconds. Vincenzo Cerice, 30-second penalty. This is the big one. Pitchick, 30-second penalty. I know it's a long old race and Spa is a long old track, but 30 seconds is going to be significant time to try and make up. And then Jack Young has a 45-second penalty. So not all of them may be with us this evening, but Pitchick definitely is. We've seen him out there. In fact, let's just quickly put him up in the purple Bentley.
Yeah, that's a big ask for Pitchick tonight. Of course, anything's possible, but to have to serve that 30-second penalty is a real ball and chain around his wheels tonight. He can still do it. He's got the pace. He's a quick driver, but
yeah, I think
for sure.
I think the main battles for the championship are sort of going to be within the top 10. Let's just have a quick look at third position, as I had it in my brain and it's just floated away. So
fan favourite.
Yeah, it's Miveld, fan favourite, but he is very closely followed by Borgodowski and also Nagari, very close. In fact, Cadil. So we could see a return of Cadil Cam this evening, depending on how that goes for him. And then Jonathan Watts, again, they're all in the 300s. And even Caracas could get himself fairly high up there. He won't be able to dethrone Pitchick in second, because his best finish could possibly earn him 100 points. And he's on 306 at the moment, with Pitchick on 420, the perfect meme number. So it's going to be tight, though. So I think the main battles are going to be for third position, though. I think it's what we're really going to be looking out for overall, obviously.
Absolutely. And you have drivers in there who have come in late to the championship, such as Grantas Caracas, who has finished first, second, and third in the last 3 races to put themselves up into 8th. Another finish like that tonight could see them finish well into the top 5.
Yeah, super easy. I mean, I for a moment thought if we had another couple of races, he really could be challenging for first and second. It's only because he's just run out of time. He's just run out of races. Obviously, he didn't join us for the first one. The first 3 races, actually, he wasn't present for. So, I mean, looking at his current pace, a 1, 2, and a 3, I mean, that's some good going, isn't it? Some really good going.
He's not been too shabby, the Lithuanian. You mentioned Bruno Cadil. Obviously, we had Cadil Cam last time out. That came about as a piece of bad luck where he had to start from the very back after qualifying. I think it was second or third. He came back to finish 14th, but tonight hopefully he doesn't have any similar situations and can qualify further up the field. But with 3 minutes to go, Cadil down in 11th currently. Where's it?
Let's break out Cadil Cam. Let's get him on there quickly. Oh, also our championship leader, Shabalanov, currently down in 15th place on the grid. So obviously, he's still technically, if he crosses the line in 15th, he can still walk away with the championship. But it means he's going to be mid-pack for the first couple of laps, and that is not where you want to be at this point. At this circuit, especially the first, first 2 corners, absolute murder scenes half the time. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens, obviously, through El Rouge Rodillion, and then obviously at the end of the Kemmel Straight, you've got the chicane, another hot spot for accidents, especially early on in the race.
Tim, last time at Blanchimont and heading towards bus stop, we saw some big accidents, and there was a lot of stewards' inquiries in today from the Tier 1 race. One driver was disqualified there, going 3 wide into the corner.
Right.
Shelabanov doesn't want to be down there, and just a higher risk of being picked up by any kind of mistake or accident. He's relying on the other drivers down there. Matt Whitburn as well, down in 20th right now, just ahead of Alexander Irish. So Shelabanov has come in and pitted for fresh tyres and is on his first flying lap on those tyres now.
Who was that? Sorry, I was looking at the timing screen as well. And who's got on the flying lap at the moment? Ooh.
No, I'm just saying Shelabanov has, he's changed tyres, so he's out on his first lap on the new tyres. So 1 minute 23, he will be setting a time now, but I think he'll have he's going for one last hurrah to get himself up from 19th further up that field to avoid the danger.
Noticed Busek out, and he is, that's a quick one, sorry. Borgodowski, going to jump on board with him now. 0.3 of a second up on his lap time at the moment. Still got a long old way to go, but 0.3 up, so that's hopefully going to see him. Is that going to see him go up? Yeah, it is. That should put him on pole. But saying that, Busek is now 0.3 up on his lap as well. So, but he's
everything's coming together. We must have some excellent track temperatures and efforts now. Can we go on board just with one of these drivers?
Yeah, let's do it. Shall we jump on board with... Is anyone starting a lap right now? Oh, Cadil just put himself on second, so we should have gone on board with Cadil.
Big lap. Borgoditsky crosses the line and goes top with and he's crossed the time with enough seconds to put one more flying lap into. Butchek, however, 4/10 up right now on his time.
How far round is he? You know what? We'll do a full lap. Oh, Pitchik does it. He does it. He gets himself back on pole. So Borgodowski would have seen that on the timing board, and he is going to give it absolutely everything. Running on board with him now as we head up the Kemmel Straight. And he'll leave braking to the absolute last moment he possibly can.
All of that curb, a yellow flag, somewhere on course. Probably just drivers stopping once they finish their laps.
Yeah, can't see anything on the track map in his way at the moment.
Shelabanov's on his last flyer too. He is doing a similar time to what he's already done. 2:17.5. He's a 10th up now, but that's not going to be enough. That may put him into 22nd.
Yeah, but a quick look at the timing board. Meerveld 0.3 up. Caracas 0.4 up now. Muscat 0.2 up on his lap. Matt York 0.1. Shabalanov 0.2. Voss is 0.2 up as well. And McLeod, where's he just gone? His time has suddenly just disappeared from my screen. Where's he gone? He may have just gone back to the pit. Oh, I think he might have had an incident. Or the timing board's having a wobble. He's in the pit. There we go. That's why the timing board was having a big old wobble with us. That's why we couldn't track him for a second then.
I think Bortzi is one of the only drivers out right now. He did cross the line with only 10 seconds to go. It's not quicker now, so it all depends on this chicane.
Really easy to make a mistake here. Get a little bit hungry on the throttle. Easy to oversteer.
He's a good exit. He's up on his time.
He is. He's 0.2 up. No, he backed off before the line, I think. So
Good check.
So
Pole
whether
position. Yeah, what happened there?
I don't
thought
know.
he was
But the
well
timing
up.
board is now saying he's 0.8 up on his best lap, and it's slowly decreasing. So it's being a little bit slow this evening. I'm not going to lie, the old timing board app. It's being a little bit slow changing cameras and such, so I'm not sure if there's something going on there somewhere with the software. Not entirely sure. So might have to keep an eye on the in-game timing as opposed to the live timing coming up through the apps that we use. Oh, right, well, Busek on pole. Great. See, look, this is the camera I really like. I like this camera, and I've only ever seen it at Spa. I can't get it to do it anywhere else. This nice rolling camera just goes down through. It's lovely, isn't it, this? And we've got plenty of time. We can just creep on down through the list of cars, getting a nice good look at everyone's liveries. Oh, that does remind me, while I am here, I'm just going to make a quick settings change. Because I was racing myself, and I know I forgot to turn this back down. We don't need the mirror quite so. There we go. Lovely job. Apologies for that little bit of admin that had to quickly be done there.
Pro casting admin live on stream for you all.
It's a behind-the-scenes end-of-season special, is what this is. It's a behind-the-scenes end-of-season special. And for anyone watching that's not overly familiar with this game, you may be thinking to yourself, why on earth are some of the cars up in the air so high? What you do is when you're in this sort of waiting area before the race starts, you're almost in the pit screen, and your car automatically raises up as if it's being in the garage and the wheels are up. And then what you do is you leave it to the very last minute to drop the car down to the floor, and then you maintain as much tyre temp as possible. So it's only when the car hits the floor that essentially the game considers that the tyre wraps have come off and then the car's cooling down. And even though they've got this really long lap to warm the tyres up, they are going to lose temperature by the end of this, aren't they? Especially if they can't bob and weave and go. I mean, track temperature is 26 degrees, so that's not a bad temp, but it's not overly hot. And the ambient's down at 19, so possibly going to see some cold tyres lap one.
You're absolutely right. And picture, do you know an interesting point? After that long outlap here and a pretty cold temperature regionally, the light doesn't go green until they're approaching Radial with really cold tires. And that's the danger about staying ahead of the pack here and the importance of qualifying. Shell Balanov, the championship leader, is in 24th. What position did you say he needs to finish above? Was it 27th, 26th?
Is he 24? He needs to finish, I think it was above 26th place. I will quickly consult the inner clock in my brain.
Yeah,
clock,
but
calculator, that's the one. Can't do anything with a clock. Goodness gracious.
One of those mental clocks to calculate numbers.
Well, he's 90 points ahead. So if Pichik can get pole, that'll give him 100 points. And so then Shabalanov has to come 27th or worse. So
yeah,
he has got to be right at the back of the field. So I'm really thinking the only real possibility of that is going to be if there's some sort of disconnect for him, possibly. So, but great qualifying from Busek there. Absolutely fantastic putting himself on pole. I mean, and Pichik will be pretty happy to see that he is so far up the grid in comparison. I mean, I think I'm trying to look at here as well. Borgodowski down in 4th. I mean, really,
Pichik down in 17th. The Polish driver. This is, I presume, must be his first pole of the season. He hasn't finished as high as 7th. This is his last best finish. So, on for a really good result. And I think with a strong finish could definitely aim to finish in the top 15. For sure. I think top 10 is maybe a strong ask. There's about 60, 59 points difference further back.
I find it quite surprising looking at the points. Obviously, like the guys, you got Shabalanov and Pichik, they've got a couple of firsts and seconds and thirds in amongst themselves. But then you look at fan favourite Meerveld, and his best result so far has been a 5th place. He's had a 13th, 7th, 7th, 6th, 8th, 9th, and a 5th. So it does show that you don't need to be on the podium to be on the podium at the end of the season. I mean, it's a really good effort from him. And then you sort of look at the guys within the top 5, and there's only really there's 2 second places between Borgodowski and Nagera, sorry. So it does show that you don't have to be on pole all the time, as long as you just keep showing up and racing. I mean, like I said, there's really not a lot of difference points-wise between, well, the latter half of the top 10. They're all just there, aren't they?
They absolutely are. And these drivers will know this going into the race, and they'll know a strong finish here today will look really good in their championship standings for the whole season. That puts a strong case for them moving up to Tier 1 next season when that comes around, possibly in the new year. Now,
carry on.
Yeah, no, just a shout out to fan favourite Van Merveld. They've got consistently better throughout the season. They started with a 13th, last time out their best finish of 5th, but they've never DNF'd. Always been in the top 10 since then. And it mirrors the other Dutch driver, Tinko van der Velde from Tier 1, who also finished every race and only got 1 podium, and that podium was 2nd on the very last race to take 2nd in the championship. Can Van Meerveld complete that Dutch 2nd place with a 2nd place finish tonight?
Quite possibly. We could see it. We could see it. As you never know who's gonna drop out. Just as a quick one, I'm guessing the guys aren't struggling too much with tyre temps, as they're all taking it pretty steady on this outlap. Nobody going mad on the tyres. Obviously, you don't want to warm them up too quickly, because that can also then cause yourself some graining issues later in the race. And lots of very high-speed, long-flowing corners here at Spa. Last thing you want is a set of tyres that are dodgy. I know I spun here once before and had some very badly flat-spotted tyres, and I thought, I can do one more lap, and I regretted it immediately. So these guys,
oh no,
they're not only going to be looking at pace, they are going to be looking at trying to keep the tyres up together, trying to monitor it all a little bit. It's a demanding circuit. And setup-wise, it's quite difficult, I always think, because you kind of want it reasonably soft so the car turns in, but then you don't want it too soft, otherwise it understeers on the really high-speed stuff. So I usually end up struggling a little bit here, but that's because I'm bad. To be brutally honest.
No, I don't think you're alone, Tim, because I've heard a lot of the drivers across different tiers during the practice races over the weekend. They talked about everything's fine, their setup's good until the pit stops. They come in, they change tyres, everything's out the window, their tyre pressures are off, they can't control the cars. This long track, as you mentioned, those long, fast corners here at Spa really go hard on the tyres, and I just think that this is going to be a race of 2 halves. And that's a cliche, but there seems to... It's just tactics are going to have to come into it. Everyone's setup's going to have to be nailed on and perfect, and they might have to adjust that midway through the race for their pit stop.
Yeah, I think timing your pit stops can be very important. It's like we said, and also the pit stop here is absolutely ridiculously long, because you've got the old pit and the new pit, so you've got to drive the whole way through, and it can be a complete killer, especially if your pit box is right sort of there at the beginning of the pit entrance. You've got such a long drive, and you're just watching the temperature dive out of your tyres. So they got one more corner to go now before they hit the green light. It'll be when they go under the Total Bridge on the run down to Eau Rouge and Redillion. So it's not here. The start line is somewhere different to the actual finish line here for this race. I think because they just know.
That's right. Yeah, just to say quickly, Christian Steinheiser in 5th. Great qualifying from Christian, on for a very good result today.
Yeah, I mean,
currently 12th in the championship.
We've seen him up on the podium before, so could be a man to watch. Be interesting to see how quickly he can turn the tyres on here. Pichik, another one. The Bentleys take a little while to warm up, and he's running that 30-second penalty, so he's got a big challenge to go. I'm going to put it in helicam so we can see a little bit more. If you can keep a bit of an eye on any incidents going on, and we'll do our best to cover it all. But the final run to the line now. Busek on pole, Bogodowski second, and Pichik third. And that's it. Green light. They are off up towards the first turn. Bogodowski looking like he's trying to go around the outside immediately. That's brave. Trying to go too wide up through there. Just about hangs on to it. Busek gave him room to his credit, and Pichik already on the attack.
I'm afraid we have a massive. We have an accident. 4 cars have been collected in the back. Favre has been, I think, wiped out. I'm afraid just lost it into Radial and it's dropped back to the back. We'll have to come into the pits.
Oh,
sorry.
Here come the penalties as well. And we did see some drive-through penalties in Tier 1 that disappeared yesterday. So we might have to see what goes on with these. But who's that? Bogodowski already flying away. And who is this? This is, I think, Caracas and Cardinal now on the back of Pichik. Just because it's such a manic first lap, I can't risk going back and watching that crash on the stream. So I do apologise. We might try and have a little look at that at the end. But so far, who have we got? I mean, well, Busek, he's got a drive-through penalty. But like I said, they all disappeared for the Tier 1 drivers. So I'm not sure if they will disappear for us as well. If not, he's only got a few laps to get that sorted.
That's right. The stewards will have a look. Jarbowski just running wide there at the corner. These cold tyres losing a place to fan favourite Van Melveld. Jeez, Kylie on the back of him now, looking past 2. But yeah, the drive-throughs, we saw it in Tier 1, as you said, and the stewards took them away, I believe. So we'll see what happens there. It could just be a glitch part of the game, or maybe, you know, if Butchik did jump the start, we'll have to see from the stewards.
To be fair, starting from pole is always really hard because you're in your box, and then obviously the lights go. You have to get yourself up to the starting speed, so you put your foot down that little bit, and then it can easily open up the gap that little bit too much, and then the game goes, no, that was too much. I had it before. I've definitely had it before, and it's very disappointing when you do manage to qualify on pole, but you are then susceptible to being penalised. But looks like the only penalty there on lap 1. I do think towards the end of the race we're going to start seeing more and more penalties coming through for track limit abuse, as very easy to do it here at Spa.
Oh, absolutely. And at various corners too. I think it was even at the very start, either Butchik or Pichik or somebody went well over that curb at Radial, flying over the top, getting a bit of air, as they say in Tony Hawk's.
I love Tony Hawk's. What a great game that was. Someone to keep a little eye on. Matt York up to 11th place. Now, I was sure he qualified a lot lower than that. Or am I crazy? He just appeared in the back of my shot. I'm sure he was...
Honestly, there was about 5 cars caught up in an incident in turn 1 and 2. And you'll also notice Shelabanov is up to 14th from 24th.
Yeah.
So... drivers making moves, those McLarens too.
Be interesting to see how far the McLarens go this time. Obviously saw them at a very, very wet Monza last week, and they seemingly seem to run on water. Obviously being British cars, they're used to running in the rain. Oh, here we go. Matt York trying to go around the outside now of Jaraboski. Can he make it work? Oh, a little bit of contact.
A little bit of contact and going to lose out possibly to James Kiley.
Oh, I think he just managed to close him off. Right? Beautiful, beautiful move. Obviously, Jaraboski, he's also running a 30-second penalty as well, isn't he? Just as a quick...
interesting. So no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, also, just noticing Busek's drive-through penalty has not gone, so presumably that is here to stay, and he is going to be running out of laps to get that done now.
Yeah, I think he'll have one more lap for the fate of that penalty to be decided. As you say, I wonder if Matt York is running some high downforce, because he is really catching Jaraboski in the corners and the twisty parts, and he's not being left enough room here on the grass and sticking to that inside. Oh, look at the marbles all over. I think that's wise. That was such a dirty part of the track. Oh, Crowley signals his intent, and York is a pickle now. Crowley can't go anywhere though. He's boxed in behind Jabowski, going into Radial. One of these two might have to give way, and it's going to be York.
Yeah, he just gives up. But while those guys are squabbling, look who is coming up past Shabalanov, the championship leader, making light work of the pack. He is flying up through. Matt York's, I think he might be running a lot of aero, because on the straight, he just got monstered by everyone then.
Oh, shout out to Vandervelde, who took Shalabanov into the corner, but Brett Lee and Shalabanov was right back through. Great fighting in the mid-pack.
Just trying to keep an eye on everyone at the moment. Absolutely brilliant. So at the moment, regardless of how fast Pitchett goes, he cannot take the championship lead. Shabalanov, to be honest, he doesn't need to even really be pushing this hard. He could just find himself some clean air and just cruise it home for the win at this point. But I imagine he probably wants to show his stuff and show that his race pace is far better than what his qualifying led us to believe.
For sure. Just checking in with chat. Yeah, we have some penalties there carried over from the previous race from the stewards' inquiries, but those drive-throughs, just the one for Butchek there, really disappointing. And I think that this is the last chance to serve for Butchek. So otherwise, he'll have what happens after ignored drive-through? Is it just a tougher penalty or a black flag?
I can't remember if you get disqualified or if it's a massive penalty. I think I've seen it 140-second penalty before. I think when someone got a drive-through early in the season, I think that might have been Mazzano. I think it was last lap. They picked up a drive-through.
Who checks in? We're not going to have our answer, so...
Well, probably a smarter move, at least rather than getting disqualified. Oh, who was that as well? Who just jumped in there? That was that Yaraboski? He's just jumped into the pits as well, I'm fairly sure. So
it's Yaraboski going to serve his 30-second penalty early and try and go to the end?
Possibly. That's a bold move if he's going to do it. I mean, this circuit fairly aggressive on the tyres. I'd be surprised if he can make it last that long. Let's have a quick look at some different battles. McLeod being closely followed by Dorr. Interesting to see how the Audi goes here. I know in real life it is fairly dominant, but I don't see it winning lots of races here in ACC.
Dorr, we love to see an eclectic mix of cars. That Audi... 19th, let's see, where's Dorr in the standings? In a similar, well, 28th. Okay, so 18th, 22nd, 16th. This is almost where we expect Dorr to be here. This is a good performance.
Yeah, we've seen some. Where was it? We saw a really good effort from him where he really sort of thundered up through the grid, and then I think he had an incident and dropped back off. But again, my memory is. He's gone. Oh, Irish in the chat. He's just replied with dead.
No.
So, is that you done, or you just got in? Have you just got some damage? And yeah, he's just sitting there. Oh, that is. I am sorry, because that's a bit of a so early in the race as well to have to pit for damage. It's not what you want. Just having a quick look now. Shabalanov in 9th place, chasing after Mirveld, fan favourite. In fact, how close are they? There's a little gap there, to be fair. He's got a little way to go yet, I think. Oh, who is this? This is Mirveld versus Sarice. Coming through the bus stop now.
Lovely little fight through bus stop, yep.
Let's have a little change of camera, because that's not the best view. There we go, that is better. Normally, helicopter cam is my go-to, but here at Spa, it's so far away, it's like watching ants from miles away.
I love it. I love it at the same time. All the trees get in the way of the corners. It's great. Sorry, Vince Van Merveld running up to Eau Rouge Radial. And they get a good, clean, quick run through here. Keep the throttle on. Takes a lot of curb right on the back of Sarite.
In the toe, isn't he? He should be able to hopefully make a move here at the end of the straight. Can he do it? Can he do it under braking? Sharice covering the inside.
Defensive move from Sharice, but if Van Mervelde would hold it, you'll have the inside line, but good under brakes. Sharice, Vincenzo, very, very good braking there. Mervelde will have to find another opportunity.
But he's going to inherit the position anyway, because there is 30-second penalty on Sharice, isn't there? I've just noticed.
Oh, of course.
So I keep looking at the times, and then suddenly, oh, door, system crash. So door's gone. We've just lost our tier 2 administrator. He's just popped up in the chat. Well, as awful as it sounds, I think it's not just me that's having an issue. Yeah, we just said about him. That was the worst commentator's curse. I'm so sorry, Door. Don't kick us out next season.
The door closes on another championship for Door Racing. And Alexander Irish, I saw the incident at Radion. There was about 5 cars picked up. I think we've lost a few other drivers who caught in that as well. Steve Favre or Yannick Royf. Disappointing. Steve's still out there, actually, just running down in 27th, having had everything repaired. Just an update, Jarbowski, who was running up in 11th, I think, has served his 30-second pit penalty, and has pitted. So going for the end of the race, I'm guessing, and that Ferrari, good luck. We'll keep an eye on the progress.
Bit of a shame to see. I did see it as well that who was at the Busek saying that he said he was in the chat. I stayed in the green stuff and still got the drive-through. That's weird. It is so finicky, this game, when you're in first place. Like, as far as you're aware, you're in the green. It tells you to speed up to get up to the right speed for the start. Oh, quick one. Crozen in the Vauxhall liveried Porsche just got past Nagari, so that's 1 spot down for him. Crozen going really well.
Reigns Crozen, race winner from Snetterton, having a great lap, and that looked like the Guerra ran right over the track there. I think, yeah, it really quarter cutted. So Crozen still has a 30-second penalty to pit, but making moves.
Oh, and now he is under attack again.
Absolutely, he's got those 2 big cars behind him. Nogueira wants back past in the Bentley. Jay Fang in the Mercedes. His eyes on Was right in front of him, though, in the other Porsche.
Yeah, all 3 of them were right next to each other a minute ago. They've had a little bit of a shuffle round just over the space of the last half a lap. So it'll be interesting to see now they're all back out again if they can close those gaps back up on themselves. Voss having a really good lap. He's 0.2 up. So, really putting in a good effort.
Disappointing, Butchek. Sorry to see you're not out there on track. Second pole position as well.
I think the game just doesn't handle pole positions very well. If I'm brutally honest, same as him, I've had the exact same issue as. It hasn't appeared on my screen that I've made any kind of mistake. I've stuck to the rules. I've been in my box. I've been in the green. And it's still, I think if everyone behind you doesn't get on the throttle quite quick enough in that changeover period from box position into getting the right running speed, I think if they don't match you straight away, you end up getting just outside of what the game thinks is a fair advantage. Which is a shame, because really it should be a case of if everyone else, snoozes and doesn't get up to pace, that wasn't your fault. You got up and going before them. So yeah, it is a real shame, but maybe it might be something like get patched out in the future. Not entirely sure.
Do you want to see Andy Salonen in the Aston go at Christian Steinhauser also in the Aston?
Ooh,
down the big straight.
Hello, here we go. It's Salonen. In fact, let's jump on. Let's have a look. Oh, there he is, going to try and go around the outside. Can he make it work? Not quite.
Well, we haven't seen that move work yet. That seems to be tough corner to stick it right now around the outside.
I think you've got to get your car almost overlapping in front on the outside to then manage to defend for the inside of the second part of the chicane. I don't think being side by side is even enough. I think you've got to have your nose in front on the outside to force the driver you're trying to pass to not take the apex. Otherwise, you know, the driver you're trying to pass is always going to come across Salonen using every last inch of the circuit then, and possibly a little bit more.
Absolutely every inch of that curb. And riddle me this, why is Oleg Pitchik in 6th behind these two? Pitchik must have had an issue, who was running second, I think? Third or second.
Yeah, so
now down
third.
in 6th.
So he hasn't pitted, because otherwise he'd be much, much further down. So whether he went off at some point... oh, we're having a shout out for it. Cardinal Cam, and yet Cardinal having a really good race, up in 2nd place.
Yes, Cardinal Cam.
Again, look at the McLarens. They're absolutely storming it through this part of the race. So 2nd and 3rd is Cardinal and Caracas, and they're both in McLarens. Like, what is in these cars at the moment? Like, what has happened? How come they're suddenly so fast?
Ferrari, McLaren, and 2 Astons. This is quite the turn up. These guys obviously quick. Cadil and Caracas, very quick drivers. Cadil. Oh, he has left Caracas behind.
Yeah, I think Caracas tried to gun it a bit too early on the throttle.
And that'll put Caracas a little closer to the Steinhauser anti-Salonen battle. He won't like them in the rearview mirrors. Great race so far from Cadil. And you know what? It's connection issues, I think it was last time out. So good to see that those, you know, while other people are having issues tonight, at least Cadil on Cadil Cam, so far so good. I shouldn't have said that. Please move on. You really
shouldn't. Yeah, we're going to move away from him just in case. Where are we going to look? I say, obviously, I just noticed that Dor put that, you know, obviously being our administrator, he has said there were some nasty incidents on the opening few laps that he did try and, where are we trying to look? He just, you know, did try and warn everyone in the driver's briefing. Yeah, I think Spa is just one of them circuits where it just seems to just breed accidents. It's real life and in simulations, obviously. It just seems to they just come out of nowhere. Everyone just seems to go mental on the first couple of laps. There's no controlling it, I'm afraid. So yeah, I think as much as everyone's been warned, and it is a shame to see it, it does happen. I also did notice that he reckons it was just his system that crashed rather than anything online. But I am noticing a little bit, the game seems slightly more stuttery than normal. So whether that is an in-game issue or not, I'm not entirely sure. Just having a quick look through the chat as well. We've got Byron. I spent a lot of time with Cadil around here with him in the Macca. His driving style enjoys this place. So Cadil, hopefully, we might see him on pole, which would be good. Oh, move up the outside by... Who was that? That was Salonen, but it went wrong. I think he just outbraked himself, and he shot almost right past the bus stop.
I tell you what, Shelabanov's drive up through the field is being hustled right now by Matt Whitburn. Whitburn does not want to... Oh, sorry. Yeah, Van Meerveld. Oh, sorry. Van Meerveld is in the pits.
Yeah, I think he's just jumped in the pit.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Who am I looking at? Matt Whitburn's in 9th. Okay, yeah, it's Matt York behind who's putting the pressure on. Shelabanov up into 8th now from 24th. Spectacular racer. This Alexei is going for the championship here. Obviously has to finish higher than 27th to guarantee themselves the points. It's looking pretty good so far, but anything could happen.
I mean, he's
little addendum there just in case.
He's only 2 positions behind Pitchik, so at the minute, he's got it at this point, hasn't he? Really, as long as at this point Pitchik needed to come on pole, and Shalabanov needed to come 27th or lower. So at the moment, I think pretty much Shalabanov could come last at this point, and he's still going to take Pitchik to the end. I don't think he's with his current pace, he is uncatchable, and he really has been a shining star here into Tier 2 this season. I imagine we'll probably lose him to Tier 1 next season if he continues it, because he's got a good track record, this boy, hasn't he? He's got a really good track record.
Very consistent. Only 3 podiums throughout the whole season, but that's been an, I mean, lowest finish of 6th at any race. You know, it's turned up every time. Obviously, a good schedule to fit AOR racing here in. So, yeah, easy shout for Tier 1 next season, especially with 510 points as it stands. Incredible, incredible collection of haul of points. Elsewhere, the best of the rest, 3rd in the championship, is up for grabs. Vince van Meerveld is into the pits and out in 20th place right now. So an early pit stop, 40 minutes to go for Vince to set some good laps and jump a few cars. Pit check into the pits. The 2nd place chap who has chatted to us a few races into the pits now, and we'll have to serve that long 30-second, not just the 30-second penalty. The pit lane here is insane. So,
and did he have an incident earlier on? Is he carrying any damage that he needs to have repaired? Because that's going to make it even longer if he is actually carrying damage. I mean, there is the possibility he just spun and hasn't caused any damage. It might be a case of when he replaces his tyres, it solves the problem for him anyway.
That's a good shout. Just having a look at the car, it does look pretty clean, shiny. It's got that synthwave looking livery, so for the Ballas Esports Ukraine team, should just have that long pit lane stop and 30-second time penalty to serve. Just.
Hopefully. But you never know. You never know. What is that shiny livery hiding? Oh, Pichek tumbling down the order, obviously, while he sat there in the pits.
Absolutely. So we just have 2 penalties left to serve. We have Vincenzo Sorice and Rins Krozen. Currently 6th and 12th, respectively. That's going to be tough on Krozen.
Yeah, because he's been doing really well. He pushed forward. He got past Fang and everything earlier on, and he was doing really, really well. So he's currently running. Let's have a quick jump on board with him, actually. He was doing really well, and it'd be a real shame to add those 30 seconds on, because again, he's gonna drop right back. You think Pichik was up there in the top 5, and he's still in the pit and currently down to 18th place. So if Krozen's running in 12th now, and he's got to run a 30-second penalty, it's just going to obliterate him.
For sure, he's going to have to. They're going to have to hope for a few more incidents in this race for the other drivers, and they, of course, will not be up for that. Just having an eye on the splits, we have a Caracas and a Steinhauser fight possibly on our hands. We saw Caracas make a mistake here coming out of La Source. That'll offer Steinhauser an opportunity into Radion if he does the same again, but looks clean this time.
Jump on
Chasing
board with
down
Caracas
Cadil.
now. Having a quick look back over the rear wing of Caracas.
Look at that big Aston Martin following through Radion. Absolutely hunting him down.
Is he close enough to be in the tow or not? I mean, obviously, Steinhauser gave Solonen quite a good shake, and he's got away from him now. So he's not having to defend in any way. And it does look towards the end of the straight like he was slightly closing on the McLaren.
Didn't quite hit the apex there. Steinhauser tried to go later on the braking, and Caracas just seemed to have the speed in that straight line. It was catching Cadil in front as well, only 5/10 between them.
It's such a dominant car, isn't it, these McLarens? I think they're definitely one to watch out for next season. But again, everyone running really wide. Oh, big mid-pack. Van der Velde, Krozen, Fang and Michaud all in the pits at once.
There we are. Okay, Corrosion in time to serve that 30-second penalty. Van der Velde just ahead of him too. And this will be Vince van Meerveld's chance to skip up 4 positions. How far behind did Verveld come out?
Oh, Verveld's the the first of our pitted drivers, isn't he? So actually, let's have a quick jump on with him as Caracas, Steinhauser and Cardinal have all opened back up ever so slightly. Where are we looking?
It's registering for me as 67 seconds, 68 seconds. Vince Merville is possibly away from the lead, so a full minute or more. Quite a long way back, but it is such a huge pit stop. Van Merville is on a fast lap, currently done a 2:17.8, which is the fastest on track currently.
Good effort, isn't it? I think that's, yeah, that is the fastest lap of the race. Oh no, not quite. But that was his fastest lap as well, wasn't it? That's his best lap he's done so far.
Absolutely. I think Antti Salonen's done the 2:17.7 just faster, but Van Merville is on it. He's setting those fast types now. And now, look, we're starting to see those pits. There's Shell Labanov, our championship leader, Antti Salonen, the fastest lap of the race so far, and Bogoroditsky and Jonathan Watts all coming into the pits as we head into the half-hour mark, 4 minutes away.
I'm surprised to see people pitting this early. I thought we were going to see a repeat of last time where loads of people pushed on to the end. But as you can see, 14th all the way down to 17th. All McLarens that have all pitted already. Shabanov in a McLaren that's already pitted. Only Whitburn hasn't pitted in his McLaren yet. We're still on board with fan favourite Meerveld at the moment. Having a look off of his dash as he flies on down through here. All the way out to the outside, then cuts right back across. Just misses the apex, but doesn't matter. Keeps it in the track. Oh, hard on the brakes there as he goes into bus stop.
3/10 up on his fastest lap, this lap alone. Absolutely setting the pace at the right time to try and pull off the undercut. And there we are, a 2:17.5, the new fastest lap of this race.
That was a massive effort, it's got to be said. Who is coming out the pits in front of him, possibly, though? And it's Salonen going to be coming out. I think that's him on the hill there. Yes, it is.
He's past Shelabanov.
Is he close enough to get past Salonen at the top of the hill? I don't know if he's going to have the run, but he is going to have a lap of hot tyres in comparison to Salonen.
That's it. It was going to come down into this sector 2 of the the weavy part to the track. Caracas and Cardinal into the pits are second and third, who were first and second from the pit stops. Steinhauser now leading out in front.
This is when you quickly get your screen grab, and you can say you came on pole. But to be fair, Steinhauser, I think it was Kailami, did really, really well. I think he was second place. So not a man to discount quite yet.
No, of course, qualified 5th, so has the pace around here. 2:17.9 is clearly, is there by merit, for sure. It just needs to make the strategy work, because now just about everyone around him is pitted, and he's either out or about to come out, so maybe run longer, I don't know, make the overcut work somehow. Just seems to be the other guys who pitted earlier are on fast times now, and we're going to see where Van Merville comes out in amongst this pack of Cowley, York, who are in the pits. Cardinal and Caracas, I think, I imagine, are too far ahead.
I'd say so. I'm on board with Salonen at the moment, looking back at Meerveld, and they're just coming up towards the bus stop now.
1 second between the two. Yeah, of course, we have Caracas and Cardinal still in that pit lane, of course, further on track. Now, look at this drive-through penalty for driver 72. That is Michaud.
Yeah.
Currently in 19th.
I almost guarantee it's going to be for track limits. It's a killer around
Caracas is
here.
coming out. Caracas is coming out first.
Yeah, who is that coming up the circuit right behind him? I'm not sure who that is on track. Is that? Who was that? That is... Was that not Borgodisky that just flew past him,
Oh,
possibly?
sorry, Borgodisky. Yes, absolutely. Ahead of Antti Salonen as well.
So fantastic lap, obviously, from Borgodisky there, keeping himself right up in the numbers. So, of our pitted drivers, Borgodisky is the man. Looks like Caracas struggling a little bit on his outlap with cold tyres. Michaud already into the pits, presumably to serve his drive-through, which is going to seem like an absolute eternity. And Caracas, obviously on his outlap, not able to go anywhere near the speed Borgodisky is as well. Borgodisky already flying away.
Absolutely. Our race leader, when he pitted, under threat from the other drivers to taking a different strategy, but back out there in provisional lead. Obviously, 6th at the moment, but the top 3 in the pits and the rest a long way back from them.
But he does he's got a long way to go. I mean, I would presume he's going to get past Steinhauser, Cerise and Whitburn, but he has got a long, long old way to go. He's still currently making his way down the hill.
And just as these pit stops work themselves out, we remember Oleg Pitchik, the championship, down in 19th place after that 30-second time penalty and 8 seconds off 18th. It's going to be a difficult ask at this stage.
Yeah, again, like we said, he needed to be right up there at the sharp end of the grid, and he needed Shabalanov to do a lot worse than 26th, and it's not going that way, is it? It was always going to be a big ask. It was always going to be a big ask, and it's not over yet. We still have just over 28.5 minutes left, so anything could happen. Oh, Steinhauser, is he coming out already? Oh, he's on the run. He's out the pits, and who is...
He's out. Cadil and Van Merveld just approaching Radion, as well as Salonen.
I think he might gain some positions, because that's Caracas in second of the pitted cars, and then it's Whitburn coming up behind him. No, he's got Salonen behind him on track, so that's 8th place. So, oh no, Steinhauser dropping back down. I do apologise. I was got myself all excited on that.
No, you're absolutely right. He's ahead of Salonen. So Steinhauser has stayed out and grabbed himself 3rd spot.
That is I don't know how he did that, because he was... Where was he on the grid before he went in? I'm so confused. He's come out.
He started
fighting.
5th, but he was absolutely behind Cadil and Caracas. I think Cadil has lost out here somehow. Cadil, who was 2nd, I think.
Sorry,
I'm
Cadil
losing
fans.
my mind a little, trying to keep up.
I've kind of just... I think because we keep talking about the championship positions and then we're looking at the actual race positions, it ends up sort of blurring your mind ever so slightly. But interested to see if Steinhauser can get the tyres up to temp and keep Salonen at bay, as that car number 11 is gaining on him on this outlap, but to be expected, if we're brutally honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, McLeod and Voss into the pits. So where is Borgodisky? He is coming up towards bus stop pretty soon.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be an easy pass into the lead, I think. We had Steinhauser about 5 or 8 seconds ahead of McLeod and Voss. So, well, could this affect the pack? Because it's quite a little gap between 3rd and 8th. Van Merveld, just at the tail of this group, could get caught up by any of these cars. And is that Voss leaving? No, just heading in.
Yeah, so I saw him rolling in still. So he's these guys are going to take back the positions. So provisionally, it's going to be Borgodisky, Caracas, then Steinhauser. And it looks like Steinhauser has managed to hold off the attack from Salonen. So really well done there, to be fair.
Big effort from Steinhauser. Would love a podium today. Aston Martin's coming back into the play, into the fold of this race. Only the McLaren of Caracas on the podium steps right now, and there we see our little timesheet on the left of the screen just sort itself out with those pit stops. And here we are back underway in terms of everyone has had a pit stop. All penalties resolved. We see where we stand. And for those who've had to serve a penalty, it's not good. Rins Krosin 23rd. Vincenzo Storizzi 20th. Pit check 18th, who served earlier, so is at least 17th now, so at least helped out there. But Shelabanov 7th and has had a pit stop and started from 24th position.
Climbing in, he's climbing all the way through. He's, well, I reckon we could see him inside the top 5 by the end of this race. I really think we could. I've just jumped back for the battle for, well, 10th position. So this is Whitburn being chased by Matt York. To be fair, Whitburn is also on the back of Van der Velde pretty closely. It'll be interesting to see if Matt York can close up on the back of Whitburn. Times are about 0.4 between them. So it keeps eking up and then eking back down again.
Absolutely. And just James Cowley just at second ahead of this group as well. So 8th on the cards here.
I would imagine that Cowley is hoping that Whitburn's going to catch up to Van der Velde, slow him down with a bit of defending. Then Matt York can get involved as well, and all three of them will slow themselves down squabbling, and that will allow Cowley to just keep getting away. Another close battle on track is Jay Fang and Nageri. Coming down into the bus stop now. Nageri looks to the outside. Can he make a move? He's late on the brakes. Oh, yeah, big overlap. Brilliant move, and he's going to have the inside. Absolutely fantastic move. A little bit of a rub on the exit, and Jay Fang gets a slightly better run. He's going to have the inside into turn 1 and actually manages to get the nose in front. The AMG's absolute straight line speed really showing itself there, and managed to... Oh, bit of a bump there.
Love tap.
Yeah,
just
I think
a kiss.
Went to get the cut back behind him, didn't he? And just slightly mistimed it and ended up nearly taking his front bumper off. Jay Fang looking unshaken though, and hammers his way up through El Rouge. Nicely done. But now Nageri has put himself right in the clasps of McLeod. And in fact, McLeod makes a move. He's going up the outside, up the Kemmel Straight. And he's passed him. He has passed. So obviously really shaken Nagera there, and he's dropped back now. Can he make...
Wow, the pace of that Ferrari and down the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, that was absolutely ballistic, wasn't it? That was absolutely massive amounts of speed.
I wonder if he was just carrying extra from the little bump right at La Source that we saw, just on the little tap on the back of Jay Fang. Fantastic move, though, all the same from McLeod. You were just touching on Whitburn, Van der Velde, Matt York, James Cowley, fighting it out for like 7th, 9th, sorry, 8th, 9th, 10th, 7th, 9th, what? These guys have skin in the game for championship spots, and especially the top 10 of the championship. I just noticed there was a yellow flag there, which just caught my attention, but all is good. Car 222, Matthias Voss, maybe had a little spin on track down in 18th, but is okay and back up and running. James Cowley, Matt York currently in 13th, Matt Whitburn in 9th.
Yeah, having a little look on board with them now, on board with Van der Velde. Oh no, there's a mistake from Whitburn, sorry. Whitburn makes a mistake. Matt York looks like he's managed to get past. Oh no, they're still side by side. Three
wide into La Source. Who's going to get their nose in front?
Van der Velde lost 2 positions. Oh, Van der Velde's going to be kicking himself. He lost 2 positions there during that squabble. I don't know how that happened for him, to be honest. But now Whitburn and York side by side. Is Whitburn going to back out? Yes, dips back in behind York.
He's going to put himself into danger for Matt York behind, though. Down the Kemmel Straight, just the backing off to not go too wide into Radion is going to be a danger. I say that, but it's like glue. They barely changed. Had a little look to the inside there. Too late. No room here. No room at the inserts. Wow. Van der Velde losing out there. End of La Source, as you called it.
Oh, is he going to hold on to it here? He's under pressure, looking back on the rear wing currently of Matt York, as these three are not giving up, and Van der Velde will be desperate to get those 2 positions back. I'm not sure what happened. I think he had a pretty bad exit from the bus stop chicane, but actually it looks like he's backing off a little bit here. Having a quick look at the chat. Got a Caracas fan cheering on Lithuania. Yeah, up in second place. Really good effort from Caracas this evening. Like we said, if he joined us earlier in the season, I really think he could have been up there, sort of battling for first, if we're brutally honest. Another one we've got... saying about the onboard, enjoying those. Yeah, having a bit of a play with the onboard cameras a bit more this evening here, because the external cameras are a little bit far away here at Spa. And then Boculus. Turn on the gauge app, please. And norm boost gift. I'm presuming you mean you... Which is the gauge app? I do apologise. Is that all the... So you can see what gear and what throttle positions they've got?
I would have to presume so, but I've googled it. I don't know.
Yeah, so
I'm
I
not
wasn't
familiar
sure.
with the gauge app.
No, go. Please let us know in the chat. Give us a shout, Boculus, and we can. It's probably going to be a bit late in the day with only 20 minutes left of this race for us to be applying too much, but we can look into it for next season. I know if it is the standard sort of gear selection and sort of in-game HUD that you'd normally race with, at the moment that is going to be clashing with our sponsorships, so I'd have to rearrange all of that anyway. But I'd actually run that in the game myself, which I got told off for when I was doing a race the other day, because I don't run any of it, and they kept asking me how many laps of fuel I had left, and I was like, I don't know, it's not on my HUD.
Whitburn is side by side going around the outside. As you called it earlier, need to be further ahead, and still not enough to get past Matt York. My goodness. The Le Mans Rennsport team can't find a way back at the end of the Campbell Straight. Good effort.
As they crossed as they crossed that timing line, Whitburn was actually in front, so he managed to get his nose in front for a little while, and then just waiting for it to reset itself again. Yeah, currently it's showing Matt York in 10th and Whitburn in 9th, which it still is in game, is it not?
Oh, things go from worse. Yes, that's right. But things go from worse for Rens Corrosion, a drive-through. Currently running.
Dear.
Ooh, and just drove off the track into the wall and quits.
Oh, well, that's a bit of a shame to see that sort of this late in the season. I mean, I know it's last race, and he's probably thinking to himself, that is his race done. But still, he only had 17 minutes left, but understandable.
I'm not sure the Apex Online Racing stewards look too kindly into purposely driving straight off track and possibly causing yellow flags and so forth, but he's in the pits now, so...
Right, so he has at least cleared himself away from the edge of the circuit.
Yeah.
So just having a quick look on board. Well, jumped on with Borgadiski, who is actually being chased down by Caracas. They are pretty close. And Steinhauser as well, still putting in a real effort. Salonen not dropping off the back of him.
Sorry, Steinhauser last lap doing a 2:17.1, 3/10 faster than the top two. 3/10 faster, 1.8 seconds behind. This is with 16 minutes to go. This is on if Steinhauser can keep that kind of pace up. Borgoditsky and Caracas doing very similar times, 2:17.4s. Same as Salonen behind. So there could still be changes in this race. Podium spots up for grabs. What does this mean for the championship, Tim? We have Boritsky in first right now, looking for a win, 100 points to be taken on the board. And currently in fourth position, just behind Van Merveld, who is down in sixth. Well, not too far down in sixth, but only 19 points between them.
Yes, I mean, he's definitely in a position to be able to challenge for third place in the championship. I'm just trying to work out what position Pitchick's in. 16th. He's still going to be bringing in a fair few points down in 16th place. He is going to be bagging, if it stays it is, he's going to be bagging another 28 points. So I don't think he's going to be losing his second place slot quite yet. But Mirveld, he's only in 6th himself, so he's going to be bagging some decent points there.
We have another drive-through for track limits. We have Pavel Jarbowski, and Pavel has just driven off track and returned to the pit lane. I presume the day is done.
Real shame to see some really top drivers being caught out here by the track limits, but you see it in real life as well. Drivers are always complaining about it here whenever you watch the endurance events. I'm going to say that Caracas might be closing on the back of Borgodisky. Trying to keep a little eye on the times. They're down to less than a second between them, and Steinhauser as well. He's pretty close as well. So I think, like we said, I think we might start seeing these guys squabbling it out for the very beginning.
Ooh, exciting.
Matt
Two
York...
tenths lost that last lap. Sorry, go ahead.
No, he's carrying on. It's fine. Matt York and Whitburn, they are still right on each other. Whitburn gets a better run out of the bus stop chicane. Can he make a move down here into turn 1? To his
Dirty
credit,
side of the track.
he does. He goes at the inside. Matt York
goes
gets the
to
cutback though.
though.
Oh, what a brilliant move. We tried to see that move get done earlier on by Nogueira, and it didn't go to plan. But they're still side by side. Oh, it's close.
Oh,
Neither of them backing
going
out.
into Radial.
Neither of them backing out of it there. So,
And Whitburn has to give up the place after cutting the corner there, but doesn't want to lose out to Van der Velde, who's also wanting a piece of the action and has a great run on Whitburn here. Takes defensive. He'll have to go around the outside. Absolutely change of pace there. Going into the braking zone.
goodness
But
gracious.
yeah, anything could have happened at that moment. Usually does.
Is Van der Velde going to be able to make a move here? Because he was right on the back of him for a minute, wasn't he? But these three trading places, battling over that 9th spot on the podium. Well, I said podium on the finishing grid. I can't think of the word. My brain just broke completely then. I was looking, I just noticed that someone else just got a drive-through as well. Who was that I just saw? Just picked up a drive-through penalty.
I don't know. I think it was maybe just Jarbowski's.
No, because I saw there was a yellow flag. Oh, Pitchick in the pits, is he?
Butchick has left, yeah.
That was who I saw picking up the drive-through, I think. So I saw somebody pick one up, and I was thinking they disappeared suddenly because there was a yellow flag.
Oh, no, didn't Butchick leave? Butchick's the pole sitter, right, from qualifying, and is in chat. My bad, sorry, Butchick.
Oh, goodness gracious, it's all got a bit wobbly here. Who is it that we...
Look, we've had a whole season here. We're down to the last 12 minutes. We've got 2-2-2 with a yellow flag. Again, Matthias Watts has obviously had a spin here and just been passed by Jonathan Watts. Jonathan Watts down to 19th.
Gotta say, Caracas is now within sniffing distance of Borgodowski. He is going for another pole position. He wants it.
Ooh, you're right.
I mean, like we said, if he does get it, that puts him an extra 100 points, and it puts him right up through the championship. He's in the toe of Borgodowski, but it looks like the Ferrari's got a little bit more grunt in the straight line going up the Kemmel Straight. Under braking now.
But that's 2 laps in a row, or 3 laps in a row, where Caracas has inched out time away from Borgoditsky. And Borgoditsky also slower than Steinhauser behind. So the longer these two fight, Steinhauser's going to come into play here as well in the Aston Martin with just 11 minutes to go. We've got an exciting finale on the cards.
That sounds like a lot of tyre noise coming off Borgoditsky, so I wonder if his tyres are starting to show a little bit of wear. He looks like he's slow going into the corners compared to Caracas, so I think he's having to slow the car down more to get it to turn in.
I mentioned it at the start. This was going to be a race of 2 halves. The cliche of usually used in football, but the tyres after the pit stop completely changed. The drivers were struggling to get the right setup to do the whole race, and Borgoditsky absolutely losing grip coming out of the corner at the last section there. Car 69, another yellow flag. Whitburn in the pits.
Whitburn in the pits. So I wonder if he hasn't lost any position. So I wonder if maybe he's made a fueling error or something, because he's not.
I saw a flash of a yellow flag, and then just the pit sign come up against Whitburn's knee, and still register in 10th because the cars haven't come round and passed the pit lane yet. That is a shame.
Still on
Caracas
board.
down into La Source.
Yeah, I'm on board with him. I'm on Caracas's dash. We're looking forward. Can he make a move this lap? He's really closing up on the back of Borgodisky now. And Borgodisky must be sweating. He is being absolutely mobbed.
Absolutely. This is good for Vince van Mervelde's 3rd place in the championship. He doesn't want Borgodisky to get full 100 points. Caracas, on the other hand, gunning for a 2nd win of the season here, and off the back of finishing on the road 2nd place in the Endurance Championship race at Barcelona. Fantastic attack here.
I also think that Caracas, I mean, obviously joined us a little bit later, so he is slightly further down on the championship overall. But I think this might be another racer that we possibly see moving up. I mean, and Van der Velde gets himself a drive-through. He was pushing really hard to catch the back of Matt York earlier, and it's obviously just overdone it. And that's it. He's got himself a drive-through. So I really hope he serves it and comes back out and keeps going, because so many people have left that he's not going to be in last. He's still going to bag some points.
We're really getting some driver attrition here coming in the last 10 minutes, last 9 minutes of this race. Those penalties, those track limit warnings starting to add up for the drivers and catching a few out, which is a real shame. But as you mentioned, that it really opens up opportunities for other drivers to finish on a strong point, and Pitchick up to 14th after being in 23rd or something like that earlier.
Yeah, so he's had a really good run. In fact, let's jump on board with him, as he's had bit up and down this race for Pitchick.
And Pitchick was 8 seconds behind Jay Fang and is now past him and Nogueira and 5 seconds up the road. Pitchick is, hasn't been slow here. It's done a 2:17.1, which is comparable with which matches the fastest lap of the race. Just shy of it, of the fastest lap.
He's down on his current lap by 0.8, and his last was a 2:19.4. So he's
I think that could have just been making the moves on Fang and Nogueira.
Quite possibly, yeah, because otherwise he's it looks like he's quite down on pace compared to everyone else. But yeah, he's massive gap back to Busek and Nogueira. Oh, Busek's in the pit, so Nogueira behind him. Massive gap back there now. Trying to show a little bit of everyone, but I don't want to miss out if anything happens right up here at the front, as Borgodisky has answered the attack of Caracas, and he's managing to escape ever so slightly, opening the gap back up now to 0.5. It was 0.2 this place a lap ago. And Salonen looks like he's under attack from Cardinal.
That's right. It looks like some of the ebbing and flowing is, working its way there. We're into the last 7 minutes now, and Cardinal on the back of Salonen. Cardinal cam again. We shouted out a lot last race, but some drivers, just everything seems to be coming together in this last section of the race. But if Caracas can just be, if Borgodisky can hold up Caracas, then maybe whatever advantage Caracas has had will sort of wane, and maybe that'll be the same here with Salonen and Cardinal. Elsewhere, our new battle for 11th and 12th, we get Daniel Fernandez and Stuart McLeod. All McLarens. McLaren's looking pacey at the end of this race.
Yeah, they do. They seem to really hold their pace well, don't they? McLeod looking very racy as well, isn't he? Looking back currently from Fernandez. Let's have a little change up of the old camera, see what we can see. Come on. Why won't you let me click on anything?
Yeah,
there it is.
Campus. Stavlo.
To be fair, are these two gaining on the back of Mons as well? Mons doesn't look like he's that far up the road ahead, does he?
Yeah, no, these two have been going faster. Mons' last lap at 2:19 Fernandez a 2:18.6. Stuart McLeod's last one a 2:17.8. McLeod has caught up right on the back of these guys. They have been caught by McLeod. So that Ferrari, the pace down the Kemmel Straight, everything about it.
It's
obviously
really got the guts, hasn't it? We've
yeah,
seen it a
Van
few
der Velde
times.
there. Van der Velde is serving their drive through.
Oh, who is this? Salonen. Oh, Salonen and Cadil. Jumped on board with them quickly. Cadil trying to go around the outside. He's in front. Again, not quite far enough.
Oh, touch.
A bit of a touch. Oh, and a bit of a slide there from Salonen trying to get the power back down. I think Cadil backed out at just the right moment. I mean, that was really good.
I don't know.
Negeri gets a drive-through penalty. He'll be kicking himself.
He does. It's a real shame, but Cadil, was there enough room left on the course? Did Salonen give Cadil absolutely no option but to make his way off the course and try and have to cut a part of that corner? Certainly no advantage gained from Cadil. He lost time there.
Yeah,
but
definitely lost time. I think that was one of those moments of that Salonen just did not expect Cadil to be holding on around the outside. I think that was as close to what I was explaining, that you need to get your nose in front just enough to, show the driver you're trying to pass that there is no choice but to give him some room on the apex. And I just don't think he was quite far enough ahead. Salonen obviously not expecting that move to be put on him then, but fair play to both the drivers. They did, once they started to rub, they both moved out the way. Obviously, we did see Cadil going over the curb a lot, but Salonen didn't keep pushing. He did sort of back off ever so slightly.
Absolutely. Van der Velde has come out in 20th, so will absolutely still pick up points from there. But you're right, Cadil, that was almost the closest we've seen to the round the outside move into Lecombe's actually paying off and working out.
But Salonen now knows that is where Cadil is going to try and attack him this time, and they are right next to each other again.
Confidence under braking from Bruno Cadil.
You know what? We're going to do it. We're going to go full-blown Cadil cam. We're on board with Cadil, looking forward. We're inside the cockpit with him now. We're essentially, we are his passenger at this moment. Both of them running a really clean line. He gets a slightly faster run and he is in the tow. But like we said, Salonen knows he's going to try and go around the outside. He just holds the middle of the track. Nowhere obvious.
He's going for the inside this time.
Cadil goes to the inside, but he has to go to the outside now. Can he make it work? Let's go outside. He's trying to get around again. No! Doesn't work again. He's going to have to try something different next lap, isn't he? If he's going to make a move on that turn, he's going to have to try and do something a little bit different. As Salonen is defending lovely and fairly. He's not doing anything wrong. He's just doing some real solid, clean defence. Obviously, we saw that little rub last lap, but again, I think that was more of a racing incident than anything more. Going to quickly check in with our leaders. Borgodowski still holding off Caracas. Brilliant effort by him. So we've seen Caracas multiple times showing absolutely biblical speed, especially towards the end of races. So the fact that Borgodowski, he's pretty much been at him pole the whole time, hasn't he? I think it's only during the pit periods that he actually dropped back. So he's led most of this race. So he'll be determined to hold off Caracas. But saying that, maybe
2 tenths between them as he comes through this fast part of the track. Not any room to pass around here, especially with this corner. Caracas will just stay in the tow and look for possibly an opportunity into the bus stop. Oh, look how much of the track Borgodowski takes. So much curve.
Caracas does look up the inside, doesn't he? He's showing his nose, just trying to eke his way through.
And as they cross the line here, we are 1 minute left. So
this is the
final lap.
This is the final lap, isn't it? So we're going to stay on board with our leaders for this one. If you can keep a little bit of an eye on the battle for 4th place, so Cadil and Salonen. It looks like the gap's opened up a little bit, actually.
Well, they're just through Lecombe and heading down into Radion. So I'll keep an eye on that.
Borgodowski really straight lines the top of El Rouge. So Caracas gets a drive-through! Caracas gets the drive-through! I thought it was going to be Borgodowski because he straight-lined it at the top of the hill, but Caracas Oh! Last lap gets a drive-through, so he isn't going to be able to do it. So he's going to get penalised.
Can he pull a Michael Schumacher and serve the penalty by crossing the start-finish line in the pits?
No, I don't think he can. Again, that's... Oh, he's still really attacking the back of Borgodisky. I mean, at this point, I don't want to say it's over for Caracas, but it's not what he wanted. It's not what he wanted. And I imagine Borgodisky is having a massive sigh of relief. He's probably nearly fainting behind his wheel. But from what was going to be an absolute battle to the line, that El Rouge claims another victim, but this time in the form of a drive-through penalty. Oh, that's a real shame for him. And Saladin looks like he's managed to shake Cadil off a little bit. Again, this is the final lap.
That's right. It hasn't come together from the McLarens, and I will call out, you just said El Rouge. Is that the Spanish cousin of a Rouge, or do you know something I don't?
Oh no, I'm
sorry.
I'm an awful British person that can't pronounce anything.
I couldn't resist. I love it. You're right, Caracas. You know, this mirrors what happened in the first endurance race of the RU Endurance Championship. Caracas and his team in second place, the Lithuanian team, get a penalty right at the death that bumps them back down to fourth. What's this going to do? The drive-through, not serving it.
No, I mean, I don't think he physically can serve it, because you think also his... Oh, and Caracas actually crashes. 80-second penalty he's just picked up. 80-second penalty.
80 seconds.
So, going to be interesting how far down that puts him. Oh no, he's already in the pits. So, did he even... He did cross the line.
He did. Yeah, he has registered as finished, but that 80-second penalty. We did wonder how much it was. James Kiley crosses the line, 8th. Matt York right behind him in 9th. Shelabanov has crossed the line in 7th place and is doing donuts, because we now know, confirmed, our Tier 2 driver champion is Alexei Shelabanov.
Just a monstrous effort from him all season long, really, isn't it? It's been absolutely great. I mean, really clean racing most of the season through. He's shown up to, I think it's every single race he's been here for, just shown that consistency is what matters. And I imagine he's probably going to go up to Tier 1 next season with this kind of a performance. It'd be a shame to see him go, obviously, as one of our, well, as our top driver this season. But if anyone deserves it, it is Shabalanov. And again, you know, he barely needed to show up this evening, and he showed up and just kept going. So now at the top of the hill. Yeah, more donuts at the top of the hill. Let's have a quick jump back. Who is...
And we should shout out to Pitchek, who's come across the line in 13th after serving that big penalty. I mean, Pitchek has been a strong contender all season as well. Finishes second in the championship, I believe. It's such a big gap hole between himself and third place. I mean, there's another driver we could lose to Tier 1 as well. And to be honest, we'd love to see that rivalry continue if they both move up.
Just as a quick one, I just jumped on board with some of the guys that haven't quite crossed the line yet. Jumped on board with Watts. And he was rolling along seemingly in neutral without the engine running. So I wonder if he's run out of fuel on this last lap.
Good heavens above. Oh, no. You're right.
He's moving again now. So possibly just a case of not looking at everything quite correctly. Borgodisky, our winner on the road. Absolutely great effort from him. He held off the challenger Caracas, stayed clean, didn't pick up any penalties. Fantastic race from him. It's got to be said. Caracas, real shame to see him pick up that drive-through penalty, so he's probably going to lose that second place once the full race is complete and everyone's crossed the line and returned to the pits, so we'll keep an eye on that. Steinhauser, currently in third position. Absolutely fantastic effort from him as well. So are we going to see... Is it going to change? Who is... Oh, no, because
Jonathan Watts has indeed run out of fuel and is just crawling towards the line right now. You're right.
Come on, Watts.
Oh, come on, Watts.
Then it will change our timing screens. Then we know exactly how far down Caracas has dropped.
No, don't stop now. Get out and push. Oh, here we go.
He got the car started. He got the car started. He did get it moving. Right, so the oh my god, Caracas dropped a long way down. So rejiggled everything as it now stands. Borgadiski on the road, crosses the line in first. Fantastic effort. Steinhauser gains second position, and Salonen rounding out the podium. And I'm going to say Salonen was my driver of the day. Absolutely gargantuan effort. He really stuck it up there with the big boys today. It was really good. And I was about to say the fastest of the Aston Martins, but second fastest of the Aston Martins. But Salonen gets my driver of the day personally. Massive, obviously, congratulations to Shabalinov for bringing it home in first in the championship. I'm just having a little fiddle with everything, and we will see if we can get the guys up.
I think you're absolutely right. Antti Salonen had a very strong race today, and plenty of others did too. Fantastic results, but Salonen, let's see, before this race was, oh my goodness, I'm still scrolling down to check the championship table. Salonen's 39th. Best finish so far was 18th in that Aston Martin. And today, stuck it right up there in third on the podium. Congratulations to the Finnish driver, the Flying Finn of the day. I agree with you, Salonen, the driver of the day, absolutely. And Kevin in chat, Joe Salonen, you're absolutely right. Mr. Hotberg F for him. I think you're talking about what's, I guess, coming across the line. We should pay our respects by pressing F or running out of fuel on the last lap. That's the only right and fair thing to do. In terms of the season, Timasorus, you spoke beautifully. Congratulations on your first season commentating and casting this AOR Tier 2 Championship. It's been a fantastic one for myself. I've loved being a part of it. Arthur Justice would love to be here, but couldn't, as he would have said the same. We took it half each, but you know what? We'll all be back next season. And you can catch us on the AOR Endurance Championship, where you will see so many of these same drivers out there in the field fighting it out. We have 3 more races, and the next one is the 30th of October, and we'd love to see you there. And Timasorus, we have Jonathan Watts ready for the
I may or may not. Nah, if it's yeah, it was just a. I mean, the gambler at Nürburgring was a combination between risk and stubbornness. This one was, for some reason, in practice, the car was using a 3.6. Give or take per lap, and then I got into the race and it never went below 3.75. I realised with about 15 minutes to go that I was heavily down on fuel, so I don't know if the game actually officially classed me as finishing the race. I did just about cross the line. God damn it, I knew it. I had a feeling that was the case. Yeah. Nice try. Yeah, that'll be the plan. I think different car choices as well. The Mercedes has done me proud on a couple of races, but yeah, it's been quite difficult to tame and get to work in certain situations. And like today, I while the Ferraris are running around in top map and doing ludicrous speeds on the straight, I'm 10 kilometers an hour down, happen to run it around in map 2 and still manage to run out of fuel. So it's there's definitely been scenarios that haven't really suited the car very well. So try again next season with some revised strategy choices and car choices, and hopefully build upon what's not been too bad this season. Thank you very much. That's right. Thanks for coming, guys, all season. It's been a pleasure. Cheers, guys.
Just before you do you want to turn the music off? I believe we have it's slightly loud.
Yes. Can you hear me? That is true. A good ending to a hard season. Second, yeah. Yeah, watch me. No, so still is still missing that first win. So I guess I have to try again next season. Yeah, it's super hard in this field. Like if you have a bad qualifying, you're basically done for the night. You can be happy if you fight back into like the top 10 or so. So I was happy that I had a good qualifying for once. I lost the position to Grantas right in the beginning, but I was happy that I could stick with him. Like, isn't he this 14-year-old super fast boy? So I was really happy that I could stay with him. I think we got held up a bit, kinda by Bruno, not much, but I feel like what we were missing in the end to Borodsky was I think what we lost in the first stint. I wasn't really sure when to pit. Yes, man. I guess, yeah. Like the field is super strong. Like I guess I'm missing a 10 for 2 for tier 1. Let's see if I can find them, but tier 2 anyway is so competitive. It's insane. Yeah, indeed. Ah, was it okay? Oh no. Oh God. One only. Yeah. I don't know how hard the game is if it insta dequalifies you if you if you go straight at Rouge, but yeah, the guys were like I don't know if Grantas did it on purpose or not, but since they weren't really fighting with defending and all, I was just catching like 210 fear, a tenth there per lap. And so I couldn't really catch their draft. Like I was hoping that they battle a bit more, but that was well done from both of them. Nice. You're very welcome. No, but thanks for commentating. It's always fun to check the stream after a race.
Christian Cardinal here. It's been great watching. That was a fantastic performance. I just want to say your qualifying would have put you 15th in tier 1, so you are not far away, sir. You could definitely compete in that field.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. It's a good thought to end the season on. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Have a good night.
Good night. Timasorus, thank you very much for casting and being a brilliant presenter. It's been a pleasure co-commentating with you. I hope the drivers have this footage to look back on the race and is good enough. We've absolutely loved watching it, and it's been an exciting championship. And I would say good luck for next season, where we go again. There is that, yeah. In the old personal life, there's, you know, a baby was due on Sunday. It's we're still waiting, so I could be going to the hospital any moment now. What a thought to sign off with.